All right, welcome back to a brand new homepage makeover episode where I'm going to be taking a look at 5 real-life websites that were submitted by you guys, my YouTube audience, so that I can just kind of take a look at what might be missing and how I might do things a little differently to fill in those gaps so you can be much more persuasive with your messaging, get more trust, and then finally more sales. All right, so before we get right into the websites, I do want to remind you guys what's in this for you, right? If I'm not looking at your website specifically, that's okay. There's still a ton to learn here because you're going to see basically where some other websites might be coming up short and how I would fix it. And you'll see how easy a lot of these fixes really are. And I guarantee you some of the things I'm going to be talking about are probably going to apply to your websites as well. So pay attention and see what you can do better. So our first website was submitted to us by Scott Hewitt, and that is funnymustache.com. So let's go take a look. Okay, so here we are on funnymustache.com. It's a props and photo booth company. So what we have here is just kind of a, it's kind of a basic background, and it says what you do. We bring the party to you, but it's one thing. Okay, so we do get some photos further down the page here, but that really should be something that's made much of a bigger deal about more up top, right? Because when people get to your website, they're not going to scroll any length down the website if they don't already like what they see at the very top above the fold. So we want to give them what they want straight away. And the other thing I'm noticing that I think is a bit of a disconnect here is this hire us call to action here. So what you're doing is you're basically expecting people to come to your website and then just click a button and hire you without speaking to you or anything like that. And I think that is kind of a bridge too far. I think most people are going to want to at least have a conversation. They want to, have that consultation with you. So I'd probably change that to something else. So let's go ahead and take a look at what I've done for this company instead. Okay, so this is the version that I created where I'm bringing a little bit of that fun element, right? Showing the photos, showing a variety of them. And these are just the same 2 people, but I think that gets the point across, like showing the different ways you can pose and then maybe even one that's a little less, over the top there. So I did that, and you could also do this with a slideshow with different photos. They don't all have to be in the same series. It could definitely be, 3 to 5 very different setups. That would work too. And then we've got here is I changed the headline. Well, I didn't change it. I brought it right from your old website right here. We bring the party to you, but I decided to make that the main headline here. And then what I did was I originally just had this as "we bring the party" written out, but I thought, what better use of an emoji? I wouldn't always use an emoji in a headline, but I think if any time there was a case for it, it would be here. So, and I have been experimenting with this a lot lately, using emojis not only in text but in headlines, because it's a great way to bring a little personality to a website. So, you can run with this or not. It may be appropriate for your business. It might not be. So I'll leave that up to you. But then I went on to say, because this was missing before in the other site. The other site was a little, just says transform any event into an interactive experience. That's fine, but I wanted to be a little more clear. It says, our prop-packed photo booths transform any event into an interactive and memorable experience. So I'm basically letting them know the value out here. There are, prop-packed photo booths. That's what we do. Then how we make a difference is we transform your event, and then rather than having the hire us call to action, I chose get the party started, right? Normally I like something that's even more clear than that, but I think in this case, it fits the mood, right? It fits the personality. And I would imagine this would not go to a hire us kind of page, but it would go to either a consultation form or a scheduling tool that lives right on your website where they can schedule something, or call you if that's what you would rather do. So, and by the way, I am going to be limiting these makeovers to the top hero sections. I didn't have time to do the whole page. but this is the most important section. This is where you make that first impression. So I'm really focusing my efforts on this, but yeah, let's see what we've got up next. Okay, so our next website submitted is from Nadia Kanariva. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, but her website is phoenixcareer.co.uk. So let's go check it out. Okay, so here we are on the homepage, and right away, what I'm greeted with is something that I really don't like to see on a website, and that is this extremely stocky looking corporate, we've seen this on so many websites, this handshake. And the thing about an image like this, it does very little to build any kind of trust with your audience, because it just doesn't look like there's any human element to it. So we've got a headline which is pretty decent. Every winning business needs a winning team. We help you recruit yours. So the one thing I would say it's missing here, I like the headline very much. I think it's clever, but it really just sets up that expectation of building the winning team, right? So the one thing that's missing, you do say we help you recruit yours, but I would say every recruiting company does that. So how are you different? What makes you any different than everybody else? All right, so now let's go ahead and take a look at my redesign where I attempt to solve some of these problems. Okay, so here we are on my version, which uses the same exact headline, but then I try to add a little bit of clarity by using the subheadline, which says, we'll put yours together by matching your requirements with only the most qualified, motivated applicants so you can hire right the first time, every time. So it's a little bit of a value add there, right? Because I would say most people, when they come to you, their big problem is, we tried hiring the right person, it didn't work out. So now we need your expert help. So you're basically speaking to that problem here with a headline like this. And by the way, I did get some of this copy. I got some of these ideas from your website somewhere down here. I saw something about that. I don't remember exactly where I got it, but I got it from your website for the most part. So I'm trying to use your language in a way, but just bring it a little higher up to where it's the most important. And the other thing you'll notice here is the look is quite different, right? Because I feel like you can still be very professional while not looking quite so, stodgy in your execution. So this definitely feels much more modern with the colors. And by the way, if you were married to your colors that you have here, you can absolutely, you could do something where it's a little more bringing your colors in, but I just wanted to try something different, because if I were to take on a web project like this, I would say it might be time for a little bit of a rebrand anyway. So I just thought this was a really good use of colors that feel professional, but still have personality, right? This font, I think, has a little bit more personality, using friendly colors like this blue and this, kind of half orange, half magenta color. And then we've got a much better photo. It's still stock, by the way. You can probably tell it's still stock. But the problem isn't that it is stock. The problem with this one is that it's just lacking in personality and lacking in that human element. So I really tried to bring that back in with this one. And it still has a very professional look. Like, this woman actually looks like she is up for a very high-powered job, right? So whenever in doubt, always try to bring a little humanity, a little bit of personality into your website. Even if you're B2B, or if you think you have to be very professional, there's still a way to be professional while still coming across as a human-run, human-focused company. All right, so let's see who we've got next. Our next website was submitted by Robert Price, and this is lawnreputation.com. So let's go take a look. Okay, so here we are on the homepage, and yeah, I would say what we have here is it's a little. I hate to use the word generic, but this kind of photo, especially when we're talking about lawn care, right? I know you do landscaping, which would include trees, but to have your hero image just focused up on trees and leaves and stuff, I feel like is not really hitting what most people would probably think of a lawn care company. People think of the lawn. They interact on the lawn. They play with their kids in their yard, right? This feels very disjointed, like we're looking up at the sky versus where people are actually living and enjoying their yard. It's a little thing, but it means a lot when people are trying to find a provider that they can relate to and they know gets them and what they want out of a lawn care company. So the other thing I would say here is it feels like with the copy, it feels a little like it was all written for search engines in mind rather than to persuade people. So, and I get it, lawn care is one of those kind of more commodity-based businesses. It's not like you're really changing someone's life, but you are making their day easier by taking it off their plate. So the more you can communicate something like that, the better you're gonna do. So let's go ahead and check out the version that I created for you. Okay, so here we are on the updated homepage, and what I decided to do just to really bring in that human element was why not go for a big full width background video here, showing people actually in their yard, making the most of it. So, and that's basically the headline I went with too, reiterating that your yard is part of your home, right? So let us take care of that for you. Let us take that off your plate for you. So all you have to do is enjoy it. And then what I did here as well, I wanted to do something a little bit different that I haven't done before. I recently had someone on my podcast where he went over this as a tactic, which is using social proof right here in your hero section. And I think this works especially well when it is more of a commodity-based service where you can, because you could say all day long, we will take care of your yard, excellent customer service, da 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 da. It doesn't mean that much coming from you as the business, right? It means much more when it's coming from an actual customer who's used you with success. So what I decided to do is I just rated your Google reviews, and I found this great one from Susan Moody, and I just put it right here. So this does a better job of selling your benefits than it would if you were to say the same thing. So I chose very carefully to find the right quote, which basically hits on a few elements. So she says how the job was completed quickly, and our house finally has some curb appeal, which is a great little testimonial. And then she also says, we hired him to maintain our lawn at a rate even the boy down the street couldn't match. So I love this testimonial. And all I did was I added the Google logo to it, 5-star icons, her name, and then I also added the town of Somerville because I know that that's what you're trying to rank for. So anytime we can work in those little the keyword magic there, we should go for it. So, and this is a really natural way of doing that. And then I just added the get a free estimate button right here in a color that is, it stands out against everything else. Very important that your call to action button is bold and bright and lets people know exactly what they should be doing next. Okay, so moving right along, our next website comes from Frank Rodriguez, and it's designsbyfrank.net. Let's take a look. Okay, so here we are on the homepage, and what we're greeted with is a really large video that, it's basically, it's a cool shot, an overhead shot. So I take it that this, and I've actually watched this in advance, so I know the content of this video. It's basically reiterating what is said down here. So what I think we're dealing with is a bit of a misaligned message. So rather than talking about you and the benefits of working with you, what we have instead is this basic blanket message of why choose a branding firm. I guess with the alternative being not choosing a branding firm, so either doing your own logo or hiring, I guess, a freelancer or someone off of Fiverr, something like that. So a few problems here in my estimation. So the first one being, are you trying to talk people with no budget who would otherwise be doing their own logo themselves into hiring a firm? I think you might do better if you're going after people who already know the value of a logo. And then from there, you can meet them where they already are and start talking about how you're going to be the best choice for that, right? By showing your work, by going into the benefits of working with you. Because otherwise, I think this is a bridge too far, trying to talk someone into hiring a firm at all who otherwise would just want to DIY it or pay $5 or do 99 designs or something like that. So I think you need to rework your messaging a bit to be more about your benefits. And the other thing that's in this video, let me just kind of go ahead and play this again. What it's talking a lot about is you're basically selling other more known firms than you. You're saying before Apple transformed computers, they chose Rob Janoff, who I guess is the designer for the Apple logo, which I got right here. So I hear you. And then when Warner Brothers, they chose Pentagram. So what you're saying basically is, these big companies chose big brands to design their logo. I don't understand the correlation between that and then hiring you. So, but anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at what I've designed for you, which I think is going to do a little bit better. Okay, so here's what I've come up with. It feels very similar to what you've already got, right? It has that lot of white space, which is perfect for a design website. But what I wanted to do was bring in more of your messaging, creating the future of your brand, which is a tagline you already have. And then I went further by make your mark and increase revenue with our proven results-oriented bespoke branding services. So I took this from somewhere else on your website. I'm not exactly sure where I grabbed it from, but I basically took some of those ideas and tweaked them into a really solid sub-headline here that lets people know exactly why they would want to work with you over anybody else. And then I've got this let's talk about your project call to action, because I think what you have here is kind of no call to action at all. So that was also a problem. So we wanted to bring that in for sure. And then what I did here is I just showed you what it could look like if you had a video that was a little more focused on you and your practice. So this one comes from Square. Credit where credit is due. It's just it's another branding firm. I just thought this is a really well done kind of intro video that you could use something very similar. And then just maybe a few samples of your work over here, and then some more work samples down below it as well. So we're taking it now out of the realm of just talking up logo design in general, and now we're talking specifically about why someone wants to hire you. All right, next we have one from Adrian Fraser, and that is inspectionmtl.com. Let's take a look. Okay, so here we are on that homepage. So certified home inspection services, providing exceptional value through service, experience, and innovation. So okay, what we have here is basically what I would call a just the facts approach, right? It's certified home inspection services. And then we do have a subheadline, but I would say that this falls prey to basically, it's a lot of cliches, right? It's a lot of things we've heard before that don't really, people, when they read things like this, they don't even register them because it's every company says it. It's no offense against you. You might provide these things. I'm not doubting that you do. But when you say things like exceptional value, what does that really mean when we're talking about a home inspection? What is exceptional value? What is the service you provide? How is your service any better than anyone else's? And, experience. I would hope you have experience. And I think most people coming to your site would assume that you do. And innovation. Right? These are all very corporate-esque, professional, in quotes, words that, it doesn't really connect with what a home buyer is going through. Remember, when people are buying a house, which is what you're helping them with essentially, that is one of the most emotional decisions anyone's ever going to make. And you're coming at them with a very corporate, almost cold presentation here. So let's see how we can do better on that. Okay, so here's my version of the same website where instead of just showing, let me find that again. Okay, like just kind of angle shots of homes and buildings and that kind of thing, which, that's only going to connect with people so far. People love images of people, even if you're not seeing their faces. We do love faces, But I also like these shots where you're not seeing people's faces, especially if it still shows emotion, right? It still shows that excitement of moving into possibly your first home or just having chosen the right home. And the reason it can work so well to not show a face is now people can basically imagine themselves in this situation, which is a little harder to do when you're seeing someone else's face represented, right? So what I have here is a new headline that plays more into that emotional decision. You know, an informed decision is a happy decision. We perform home inspections as if we were buying the house ourselves. And I stole that right from your website somewhere. So I knew that was something you had come up with. We just wanted to put it in a more prominent spot. We perform home inspections as if we were buying the house ourselves, so you can truly feel at home. Now, this is going to do a much better job of connecting with people who are in that place that want to make sure that they are making the right decision, that informed decision that you can help them with. And by using this kind of a font and happy colors, that is going to go even further than, let's go back and see, these colors are kind of, we've got just this really deep red, we've got kind of a navy blue, grays, with stock images here. So I think that this one is going to do a much better job of connecting people on that emotional level, making sure that you're the choice that they remember when it comes time. All right, so if you want the website that's going to do better connecting with your own customers, I've got the masterclass training right up here. So you're just going to want to click there and sign up, and I'm going to send you the video right away so you can get started right away. It's called How to Create and Launch Your Own Profitable Client-Generating Website. I walk you through every step of the process. Nothing is left out, so click right here to sign up, and I'll see you in that training.